Hello, I'm Anna, and I'm showing you my sword that I made. It looks a lot bigger than it does in the photos, but here we are. Uh, this is an unfinished project of mine that I did last year, I think. I'm just gonna do a few. So this is made out of foam core, paper, hot glue, masking tape, a stick, foam. So the sword is mostly made out of foam core. Uh, 4 or 5 layers to be exact. 4, I think. So I stuck 2 layers together, and I have a stick in between 2 layers. The handle. So what I did was I cut out the shape of the sword into the foam, and I cut it out, and then I stuck them all together. And then I wrapped it up with masking tape, and I painted it. I did one half because I just wanted to see what it would look like. I don't think I was planning on finishing it because when I stuck it together, I had to sand down the sides to a point, and I regret it. It dust everywhere. I inhaled half of it, but I kept finding dust or bits of foam in my room for weeks. It was horrid. This was done with a hot glue gun. As you can see, I ran out of the glue I was using, so I had to use a different one. And I didn't think it would be that obvious. Originally, I was going to use yellow glue, which I did have, but just not enough of it. There's a bit of a difference, as you can see. This is made out of paper, which I colored with markers. This is paper that I stuck on and is coming off. This is just a foam tube I found in Woody's. I cut it into shape, I had a hole in it, and I wrapped it up with tape, so it's a little squishy. Originally I was going to put more tape on, I was going to paint it into a handle, but oh well. Stick. Originally there was supposed to be something here. I'll show you in a second. I was thinking of using clay or a sponge to do that, but I couldn't find anything big enough. So that's just like that. As you can see, quite big. I'm 5'5", so 168 centimeters, around that. And this is touching the floor right now. Like, it's not as tall as me, but it's 2 heads shorter. It's huge. It was really fun to make, though. I'm really interested in Genshin Impact, which inspired me to make the sword, and a lot of their weapon designs are just so cool. So here is where I did all of my planning. We were given the theme of the Stone Age or Irish history pretty much, and from there we had to go designing 2 pieces. This is a project for art, by the way. It's not my actual Leaving Cert, it was just a trial run in 5th year. And I want to do a sword because, like I said, I play Genshin Impact, and I think the weapons are just so cool. I drew 3 of them here. It's beautiful designs. So I started off by looking at the designs people used in the Stone Age and the Bronze Age. So like eccentric circles, spirals, arcs, serpentine forms, chevrons, stuff like that. Just looking at swords from the Bronze Age as well. Just looking at hilts. This is a hilt from the Iron Age. Oh yeah, it was these designs from the Iron Age are what inspired me for what was supposed to be the hilt. That never got done in the end, but they're just so pretty. And these are pictures I saw of someone online when they were making their own weapon out of foam. Unfortunately, I couldn't find a block of foam to go carving out, so I just had to make do with multiple layers of foam core. That was just my ideas page. Here is... This is where the magic starts. So here were 3 designs I was thinking of going with. For these 2, I was going with more of a square shape, but I don't know, it didn't feel right. This one's just, I don't know, it's too ugly. This one, I was very tempted to do this one, especially with the hilt. It was just really pretty. But I ended up not going with it. I felt it was too much. And then we have my final design. If you look closely, you can see like little curves. So I was going to have wires be wrapped around it, similar to the designs I showed you from the Iron Age. This is what the hilt was supposed to look like, and the glue on the sword. That didn't work out in the end, but sure. The marker bled through from the other side of the page. As you can see, I was going to have wire go around the sword. This is when I was trying to figure out how to do the hilt and stuff. So we have an end view and elevation. I was thinking of doing this with clay, but then I was told it would be too heavy, so I tried using a sponge. Didn't work, it was too small. This was the hilt. I was thinking of doing it out of paper mache or clay as well, but I ended up doing it with foam and tape. And here is where I was sticking 5mm sheets of foam core together to get the thickness of the sword. One of the layers I cut the shape out here where the swirls would go because I wanted to be a little deeper than the rest of it. And underneath you can see the different layers and where the hole, I cut a hole in 2 of the layers where the stick would go. Just another side view. Sort of see the orange, not sure how well. And it shows where I was going to carve, well, shave down the shape of the sword to a point. Yeah, here was the final design for my sword. And this is sort of like a rough idea of how it would be put together. So I'd have the main body of the sword, the stick that would go through it, the hilt, another stick going through it, and the hilt. And I'd have like wire wrapped around it. And here was my development stage. So, sort of see it. There's a cutout of the sword before I stuck it in. So I made a basic pointed shape. You can't really see it that well. See, you can see it better here. And I used a red marker to outline it. Which, by the way, don't use red marker on foam core. It won't stay on. It'll stay in your hands. My hands were red for 2 weeks. It looked like I murdered someone. And I cut 4 of the shape, and I used it as stencil. And I used the first one as a stencil to cut out the other ones. All of the layers got stuck together. I glued them together. But you can see where I cut out one of the layers, so there's an indent. That's where all the swirls went. Here I started putting tape on it to try to get a more pointed end. This is after I sanded it down. I think there's still dust in that room. That was my old bedroom. Here one side is painted. Here I stuck down the paper. I had to get 2 pieces of paper, I think, or 1. I can't remember. I'll check in a second. And then I got a bit of card paper and I cut it into the shape I wanted here. And I stuck it on. I colored it with paper. And here, kind of see the glue. That's where I put the glue on, and I had a hilt made for it. So that little goldy bit is called... I have the different parts of the swords labeled out. I think that bit would have been called a ricasso. Anywho's. I'm gonna give you one last look at my sword. I had the phone sitting on my, like, the window of my front door. The whole neighborhood probably hears me. Oh, well, this is my sword. Thank you for watching. Bye.